Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in. I like how the robot handed it to her and was like, here, you're going to need this.
Not only did this guy legit catch a demon on camera, it's not a dog man, none of that crazy stuff they're saying, but this owl was also uncovered to be a demon. We'll get there in a minute. No one actually believed that the picture he had was a demon, so he actually opened the door to show people out in the yard, and the demon popped up again, the same one that he had the picture of, and it moves really quick. It's really freaky though. That reaction was 100% genuine. I slowed it down right here, and even before this I saw orbs in front of the camera. Like, that's insane. Look how skinny that thing's legs are. You could see them literally moving in the video. You can see the arm right here and the head's right there. And that was no dog man, that's a spiritual entity that ran through his yard. Then these people are questioning this owl if it's a witch. It is literally answering to them and nodding at the ground just like a demon would do. So they say, can you tell me yes or no, are you a witch? And it starts nodding its head. You're not a witch. It's telling them no, it's a demon in there. They don't even look like a normal owl. I wouldn't have had to ask it. Look at the way it's looking and like zoning in on them. Like, no way, I'm out. Have y'all ever ran into a demon or a possessed animal? Let me know below. Not only did this guy...
No, I haven't ran into a demon or possessed animal. Have you?
Say one of the things that you should do is never eat with people you don't like.
Because your state of awareness will influence how your food is metabolized. There was a study done in Ohio State University where they were feeding rabbits diets that were extremely high in cholesterol. And they found to their amazement there was one group of rabbits that never got the high cholesterol levels. After a while, they found out that the technician who was feeding these rabbits, instead of just throwing the food at them, he would stroke them and pet them and cuddle them and kiss them and then feed them the same poisonous food. But now, as a result of that experience of happiness, they made chemicals inside their brain and the body that turned the cholesterol into a completely different metabolic pathway, making the crucial difference between life and death from what kills more people in our civilization than anything else. So it's not just the food you eat, but what your awareness, what your consciousness and your state of emotions is at the time you're eating. It will metabolize the food into an appropriate or inappropriate metabolic pathway.
And that's why if you're somebody like me who's a stressful eater, you know, you eat, and rather than confront whatever the problem is, you eat to ease the stress.
Well, then
it turns into something else.
Yes. See, your state of mind can convert nectar into poison and the other way around too, poison into nectar. What happens inside your body is influenced by your consciousness. So it's very important. In fact, one of the things I tell people is if you're not feeling good, skip the meal at that time.
You say one of the things that you should do.
When you eat, you got to feel good when you eat. Drop your thoughts below about that. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button because we do these videos every single day. And I'd love to see you around here. So let's get straight back into the action.
I'm going to show you 3 artifacts that seem to defy evolution. This was found in 1912 in a coal mine. It was in a large piece of coal. It broke open. This is a replica of that cup. That's the original cup. What's an iron cup doing in coal? Unless coal was formed at the same time that iron was. That does not support evolution. This right here is the London hammer. Here is the original. What's interesting about this is it's encased in alluvial stone. You could make the argument this is, great-grandfather's iron hammer, but this is starting to coalize, and there's a little nick that was taken out of it 75 years ago. It's right there, and it didn't rust, and it has chlorine in it. Here's the chemical makeup right there. Iron and a little bit of chlorine, which is unusual. This particular artifact right here, I kind of panned at one time, thinking it was kind of meh, you know, until I saw the CAT scan. This was found in limestone, which means it's 100 million years old, which it couldn't be because humans weren't that far back. But if people died in the worldwide flood, then this would be encapsulated in limestone. They believe that this is a woman's finger to someone who is over 6 feet tall, and the cross section very compelling. I can send you this sheet right here if you'd like. So there you have it. Apes, aliens, or Adam, where did we come from, friends?
How about the third one?
All ancient religious cultures had artwork depicting this shape called the seed of life that is considered to be sacred geometry. However, today's churches don't recognize it at all. Further study on this truly sacred yet abused geometrical form indicates ties to the very first portion of the Bible and several other religious texts concerning the 7 days of creation. Knowing that these were not literal days as planets had not yet been formed, these 7 circles that create this pattern seem to represent a deeper and Gnostic representation of what words can only hint at. It is no surprise then that we can witness this shape in all living organisms, and it seems to be kind of a blueprint for all sentient life.
Welcome, family. This is the Flammarion engraving from 1888. The engraving depicts exactly what I have been showing you. Let's take a look at it closer. Now you have the wheel within a wheel driving the track system. Just underneath the wheel, you have the mechanism which gives us the sun. Notice these lines. They are depicting the mechanism's connection to the track system. When you see a sundog, it's actually this mechanism revealing itself. Above the sun, we have the mechanism that gives us the moon, which is very similar to the sun's mechanism, with the sun being the positive aspect and the moon being the negative. Here we can see the tracks and the clouds moving on them. If you go back to the post where I was asked to draw the machine, you will see the lines and how they correspond with this 1888 depiction of the track system. Furthermore, let me show you now. The depiction clearly shows the track lines and the clouds coming out of them moving in a conveyor belt motion. So now let's look for this in reality. This is a depiction of what I see beyond the veil. Notice the lines and the clouds. This is what the creator of the Flammarion engraving was trying to depict in 2D. Let's go one better for the bots, so that when they post their silly comments, I'll let you destroy them for trying to block the blatant truth and take you for a fool. Now look closely. Everything I have just shown you, you will now see it in real time. I cannot make this. Welcome, family. This is the Flammarion.
A track system. How fascinating. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
What's up?
Parasites are demons. I'm gonna prove it biblically. These are what parasites look like up close. Isaiah 58, is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke? Fasting kills parasites, guys, and parasites make us sick. Really strange coincidence that the symptoms of having parasites go hand in hand with what demonic oppression looks like. In Matthew 17, the disciples were struggling to cast a demon out of a boy, and it says, "Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting." In Luke 8, when Jesus cast demons out of the man, Jesus asked him, "What is thy name?" And he said, "Legion," because many devils were entered into him. Then the devils went out of the man and entered into a herd of swine. Pigs carry a lot of different kinds of parasites. I like to run things through Haven to check and make sure that they're biblically accurate. Haven says it's possible, especially when considering Matthew 8:28, where Jesus casts out demons from 2 men as suggesting a connection between spiritual entities and physical afflictions. In Luke, Jesus also gives us the authority to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. In the Old Testament, Leviticus and Deuteronomy says that pigs are unclean animals and that we shouldn't eat them. In the New Testament, Jesus makes all foods clean for us to eat. Acts 10, how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Ghost and with power, who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil, for God was with him. Healing all who were oppressed of the devil. Think of that. They heal people physically and of demonic spirits at the same time. Matthew 10, it says, when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. And then think of the times when we're told that God loves the smell of burning fat. Fat is where parasites mostly exist. To me, this is crystal clear, you guys. Let me know what you think.
I didn't know that. He enjoyed the smell of burning fat. Interesting. If you thought I didn't have some excellent specimens for you today, think again. How cool is this? We have some fluorite. Oh, we got a whole list of them. Okay. A clear fluorite with a little bit of blue speckles into it. You got this one, very unique. All of these structures. I wonder how the purple forms inside these crystals. It's crazy. The cube-like structures, and you can see it's almost like a rock layer. All of these specimens are amazing. It's almost like it had some fool's gold on it. Alright guys, we're gonna name this one. If I had to name this one, it would be GameCube. It has to be. I take it back. This one's the GameCube.
Is a lot of the people who have the memories of this information have been removed from our realm. So World War I and World War II acted as resets to remove a lot of this information, and the people who have seen these things, that's where you start to see the first thing. A lot of the people who've seen and witnessed all of these events, they had to be born around the 1870s. So you're going very far back, because you have to think they would have to be at least 20 or 30 years old to witness that event. So 1893 Chicago World Fair, 1876 Philadelphia, 1901 St. Louis. You'd have to be in the 1850s to the 1860s, born around that time to see this. Then you would have to want to tell your next family member about that. Now, what's interesting about these videos I've seen from the St. Louis World Fair 1901, people are walking around, like just walking around. They're completely looking at these buildings, they're whatever. I don't even think they know what they're living in. Like, they're actually oblivious. And that's the thing, is because this is what they're used to. So, if you think about it, when you ask a family member, do you remember what this looked like or something like that? Well, that was just natural. They saw these big buildings all the time. If me and you saw castles all the time, it would be really no difference. Like, it would just be another walk in the park. We go walk and see the castles.
I mean, you would pretty much remember seeing a castle. I'm not going to lie. They could just give you a feeling like, man, you wouldn't forget.
Now you can see the grandeur of African people, brothers and sisters, like looking at this grand master right here, Amenhotep III. Amenhotep III was known in the 18th dynasty as the grand master builder during his time. And when we get into Upper Egypt, you're going to see the temple that he also built on too. You're going to see the lotus columns that he also built in Luxor. But as you look in the courtyard of Luxor, you'll see some toothpick columns that the Romans built. And when you look at these toothpick columns and you see the columns that Amenhotep III built, you'll see who truly was the grand master builder during his time was Amenhotep III. And I think it's only right that the queens, that my wife should speak on the queens.
This is the beautiful Nubian queen known as Queen T. She was the wife of Amenhotep III, like my husband just mentioned. And the woman, the sister, was such a beautiful queen that he took her by his side, put her into roles in the government. So the sister participated in the government in Kemet. And when the brother's health started failing, foreign diplomats corresponded with the queen. And then the queen even became the first Secretary of State in Kemet for her son, Amenhotep IV, or known as Akhenaten, when he chose not to take care of governmental duties. Now, the brother loved the queen so much that he built a lake for her, an ornamental lake, a mile long and a fifth of a mile wide, known as Lake of Teeth, and built a temple for her in Nubia, showing the connection between her homeland, Nubia, and Kemet. So this is the beautiful queen known as Queen T. And if you notice on the top of her headpiece, she's got the double uraeus up there, and that means that she ruled Upper and Lower Egypt. Now this brother saw the sister equal to him. That's why they're on the same level here. So here we have Amenhotep III and Queen T. We're talking about over 3,000 years ago.
Here she is right here.
That's right. That we have Queen T's with us today.
So much to see in this museum. And I have to give recognition to all of you.
I feel like we all need to get together and go to an Egypt museum together. How fun would that be?
A man captured a mysterious goblin-like creature. Watch this. Just what could it be? Are there more of them out there? Because a man captured a mysterious goblin.
There's no way he just ran up and grabbed a goblin with his bare hands. Like he had experience working with goblins before. They're saying Niagara Falls once stretched 5 miles long. Let's take a closer look and see what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's definitely a river. A river carved that.
Okay, well, what you're looking at there is a gigantic extinct set of cataracts, like you would find at Niagara Falls, but to use Graham's term, writ large. We're looking at a ridge. We're looking east. The tsunami wave that swept down over these 4 states, one branch of it swept off to the west. This particular branch of it was 400 feet deep when it hit this ridge. And what it did was it spilled over the ridge, and down here in the foreground you see the modern-day Columbia River. From the top of the ridge where you see the agriculture and the landscape down to the river is about 1,000 feet.
Whoa.
So you basically have to picture you've got this huge sheet of water, 300 to 400 feet deep. It's rushing over and it finds the lowest spot within this ridge, and that's where it starts focusing its energy. And as it does, it begins to just strip away the rock. Now what you're looking at here is this cataract complex is about 5 miles across. And the water came, and you see you've got those kind of curved finger lakes at the top.
And those tunnels.
Those are potholes.
That's insane.
Potholes are formed by underwater turbulence, and flood this swiftly moving with this much turbulence, you literally have vorticular eddies, high intensity, high amplitude, high energy underwater tornadoes, literally underwater tornadoes. Now these underwater tornadoes are typically, in this case, about a half a mile wide.
Oh my God.
And they're spinning at a high rate of speed, and they're right there, they're probably 600 feet deep. Because the water pouring over the ridge is at least 200, and you can see what it's done to the bedrock.
Yeah, that's definitely a river.
Underwater tornadoes forming the Niagara Falls originally? How cool was that?
The moment I saw the pyramid, I knew something was wrong. It wasn't buried, it was waiting. We weren't supposed to find it. Not here, not glowing beneath the ice. I still don't know how it powered on, but when it did, everything changed. We followed the tunnels deeper, past the throne, past the sealed walls. Every step felt intentional, like this place wasn't abandoned, like it was waiting. But for who? The Anunnaki had returned, or maybe they never left. They didn't speak. They didn't look at us. It was as if our presence meant nothing. They moved through the chamber like gods made of time and silence. Were we witnesses, or just echoes in their shadow? What happens when gods forget we exist? But what's worse is when they remember. The moment I saw the pyramid, I knew.
That video was crazy than a mug, wasn't it? leaked footage beyond the ice wall, Anunnaki civilization. Oh my goodness. It'll make a great movie though, for sure.
Found this iron ring on the ground. He went to pick it up, but it wouldn't pick up. So he started digging all around it and moving everything away and found out it was an iron door going into the ground. He got that iron door open, and then he got down inside and seen it was clear full of gold bars and silver bars. Well, at the time you couldn't own silver bars, or at the time you couldn't own gold, so he grabbed one of the silver bars and hefted it out of there. It took him everything he could do to get that silver bar out of there. Went and got ropes and everything to help him get it out of there, and drug it back to his car and took it back. Well, in the process, he ended up with a hernia and ended up in the hospital. But then, this happened while he was out hunting when he found this, but then a big snowstorm came in and he was never ever to get back up here. Well, before he left it though, he covered it up and hid it so somebody else couldn't find it. Well, after the snows melted, he came back up here and he never could find it. Found this iron ring on the ground. He went to...
So where is that location at? I was like, I would like to hunt for some treasure myself.
All right, it's been 2 weeks, man. Electroculture. Y'all see this right here in the garden? Copper. For all you in the comments that said, oh, it don't work. Ooh. Look, that's no copper. Look at the size difference right there. Look, no copper, copper. Look at that. And hold on, check this out right here. So they're all grounded, as you can see, copper ground running straight down into there, all the way down except for the last pieces. There were so many people that were like, oh, it doesn't work, man. Blah, 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 blah. Keyboard warriors always run that yap, you know what I mean? That's just how it goes, though. But look at this one right here, dude. Look at that plant, man. Hold on. And look at this one right here. Nothing. Like these right here, they hadn't even hardly done anything, man. But look, you can literally see the difference, man. Look at that. It's like a daggum jungle. Look at these, man. These are all planted at the same time, same fertilizer, everything. The only difference is these down there have the copper, right? They got the copper running out into the ground, so they're grounded. They're not just right there. It's actually got to be grounded, okay? Just hilarious to me how many people like to hop on here and just run their mouth, man. It's like, it's incredible. It just really blows my mind, the amount of geniuses in the comments. But for those of you, man, that have been supporting and everything, really appreciate y'all. But look at that, dude. You can just see it. Just see the difference, man. Can't beat it, dude. Y'all definitely need to try this, okay? All right, it's been 2 weeks, man. Electroculture.
Electroculture. If you guys are growing, go ahead and throw you some copper rods inside it. Make sure it's grounded to the earth if you got them in pots like how he had it. And I'm telling you, as soon as I get me a couple pots, I'm gonna get something going myself. We should all do it together. Grow some fresh vegetables and fruit.
What's up, family? I wouldn't even be showing you this had I not experienced something very similar in the skies when I was in the Gulf a few years ago. Check this out.
That has to be AI forming like that.
What's up, family?
Go ahead and drop Tuesday Motion in the comments below. Tuesday Motion is the code word. I just want to say thank you for making it this far. And this was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you tomorrow.